Dean and Andy, welcome back. We're here to talk ahead of a brand new season. You've just taken training. Just first of all, how did it go? Andy, you were taking part quite rigorously. How's it been this evening?
Hard. Really tough, and I'll let Dean answer that one.
No, it's been good. I think we're ready now. It certainly looks that way. That gets to that point where you just kind of want it to start. You can put as many sessions on as you can, but now tonight was good, and we always try and make that one before you start on the Saturday the one to remember. So they've had a good session on the pitch, and yeah, I think they're ready to go on Sunday.
So last time we did this, we were in the clubhouse, and it was a couple of days, I think, before the Senior Cup final, which obviously was an amazing night. It was, historic for the club. We spoke, Dean, but Andy, we've not really spoken about it. But we're a few months down the line now. Just does it still live with you every day when you wake up? Do you go, "Oh, we're Senior Cup winners"? Just what's it been like, just in the aftermath of such an amazing achievement?
Yeah, it took a while to sink in, to be fair. I think the moment, the night was just, it's probably a bit of a blur now, really. I don't remember much of the game, if I'm totally honest. I think the penalties kind of took over everything, and then the way we won it was obviously brilliant. But yeah, look, it's something which no one can ever take away. We've come in and we've done a lot of things at this football club over the last 5 years, but I think that probably stands out as probably the night that everyone's going to remember. So yeah, it's brilliant. Obviously, in the summer when you're trying to recruit players and stuff, and it becomes a bit of an easier sell when you've had nights like that. So it's something which us as people and staff and mates will remember for a long time.
Andy, if you could pick up there, just Dean made an interesting point there. When it's come to preparing for this season, to have that sort of that badge that you can say we're Senior Cup winners, we've done it on a big stage. Just for you, your kind of reaction to the aftermath of that night and just what that has meant for this pre-season, I guess.
Good. Obviously, it's an achievement itself, as we say. I mean, we've progressed every year. We've just added a little bit, and to win a cup final of something at St James's Park, it was brilliant. And I don't know, it's an attractive club as it is. I don't think it stands a hard sell as such, but winning the trophy obviously helps, and you talk of the Northumberland FA teams and talk of the area really when you've won it, especially beating a side like Moorwood, yes, albeit penalties. It's just been really, really sort of enjoyable since, to be honest with you, and it's not been difficult conversations with anyone, and we'll probably talk about too much now, to be honest with you, but you've got to milk it a little bit, don't you? So.
And obviously, defending that will be a long way away, but is that something that's already kind of in your mind, that it's good to win one, but maybe even better to get two?
No, once is enough, honestly.
Certainly on penalties, I wouldn't mind the other.
No. We take everything sort of just competition by competition, so if that's being honest, we're thinking about Saturday. Yeah. That's it, and when that comes round, we'll get the memories back again, and we'll go again, and if we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't. But that's always here with every competition, to go as far as you can go, really, isn't it? So I mean, that's the main thing. We'll concentrate on that when the draw comes out and the game comes round, and take it from there. And
I think it was just over a week after that final at St James's Park, Dale Pearson came through the door. So preparations began for the new season very quickly. We'll go through some more transfers, but with that one particular, I think when that was the first one, it was a real eye-catching one that people know Dale Pearson North East. He's got a real track record of goals at all the clubs he's been to get that over the line, especially the timing off the back of such a big achievement. Did that feel like the momentum just continued and the ball was still rolling, and just more positive things to add to more positive things is always good?
Exactly that, isn't it? Really, to be honest, I mean, we planned, and we probably wanted a goal scorer in. We've got lads who've all chipped in and scored goals and added different bits and pieces, but we probably haven't had that since the second division with Matt, really, have we? And we identified it quite quickly, and when we knew he was available and keen, we just tried to get it wrapped up. He was keen to come here, and obviously what we've done, and he knows a few of the lads, knows me and Dean. He fancied a fresh challenge, and it might have helped, it might not have helped. I'm not 100% sure, but as we keep saying, it was sort of we were on a little bit of a high, and we got that done nice and early, so we're really pleased with it, to be fair.
He got off to a good start as well. 2 goals in both of his first 2 games. He's definitely caught the eye, I think, with the fans who've seen him. He's started every game of pre-season. He does add a different dimension, doesn't he, in terms of just having that focal point in the team. He's going to make a big difference through the season.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot last year at this level. We learned as we went, but we understood very, very early that most sides that you play have got that. So it was weeks and weeks before the season ended. We said, well, that's going to kind of have to be the priority. And in my opinion, we've brought the best in. Like I say, pre-season, he's been excellent. Sessions, training, he's already a big part of that group. And yeah, like I say, he got off to a great start. He's obviously scored a couple of goals, and I think by his own admission, he probably wants to get more, which is great. But yeah, he's one that the fans are going to enjoy watching. He's not just his goals, because that's a huge part, but his build of play, the way, like I say, he leads that line, he works hard up there, he battles away, he puts his head in, he puts his arm in. So he's a proper old school, old-fashioned number 9, which probably not many of, if I'm totally honest. So yeah, we've just got to utilise that and play to his strengths, get the ball in the box, and as you've seen, if we do that with quality, you'll put the ball in the net.
And you mentioned the lessons learned there from last season. Is there any other lessons that you've kind of learned from last season that have informed your training or recruitment or just general planning for this season?
Yeah, I just think everyone's got to be 6'12". But look, it's a big, strong, physical league. We knew that before we come into it. I think every single game you play, it's tough. There's no easy games, no disrespect to the Northern League whatsoever, but there's no, when you kind of think, oh, well, they'll beat them today, or they'll beat them today, it's a total toss-up. It could literally go anywhere. Dunstan, I fancied so much. I fancied them so much in the playoffs. Stocksbridge were probably the underdogs in the playoffs, and look what happened. So we knew very, very early that there's no easy games. Sometimes we learn the hard way, which new teams do. So I think we're now more equipped as a club, as a team, to go and, like I say, play week in, week out at this level, and hopefully make a better fist of it than we did last year, although I know it turned out fine in the end. We know it was 6-7 games to go. It was a bit of a concern, so we don't want that again. It's tough times for us, players, everybody involved when you are down that bottom 3 and 4, so we don't want it again. We want it to be a much more positive season. We want to do better at home, and like I say, we've learned that, like I say, you've got to win more home games than we did last year. That's probably the biggest takeaway from last year. Our home form wasn't as good, so probably should have been. Away form picked up massively second half of the year. But yeah, our home form's important.
Another important sign as well, just because we've lost Mark Turnbull, who retired last season, played his last minutes at St James's Park. Ben Milburn's come back in, who's a player who's been here before, albeit very briefly, but clearly he liked what he saw when he came here first time round, and he's been able to come back in to have, because there's quite a lot of really strong, gigantic options at centre half now. To add him back into the group, somebody who's very familiar with the setup already, that's got to be a big plus as well.
Yeah, 100%. He's proven to an extent. I think we've spoke to Ben probably for a couple of years, haven't we, really? Just, he's mentioned before, just keeping in touch and seeing how things are going, and he probably peaked a little bit where he won a lot of awards at concert. He done really, really well. He had a move last summer, which for whatever reason didn't quite work out for him. He came here on loan, it didn't work out because he got injured, and he went away. We probably spoke, didn't we? And then we went away and we didn't speak for a few weeks, and then we just gravitated back to each other, really, and then got it done. He's athletic, he can head, he can kick, he can pass it a little bit, but now he can play a little bit. Trains really well, doesn't he? We talked about that before, like, his standards are good as well, so it just adds to what's already there, and I think once he gets himself going, he'd be a really good signing for.
There's a couple of players since we last spoke, so retained list had come out at that point, but Ryan Bailey's obviously moved on to go and play at Brighton and continue his playing career, and Jay Hornsby as well has obviously moved to Ashton. Just a word on those two, because they, have really been regular bodies in the club for a long time now, real sort of cults, or just actual heroes really for the stand, for what they've achieved.
So two legends of this place. Obviously Ryan was the last kind of one from before we got here. He's been so unfortunate with injury and stuff. It's been disappointing for him over the last probably 12 to 24 months. He hasn't played anywhere near as much as he'd like. But the work that he puts in off the field is unbelievable. He's been such a huge help for me and Andy over the last 5 years, so a huge thank you to him. He's a great lad, a good footballer. So we chatted in the summer. He wants to play. He wants to give it a right good go. And he went with our blessing, and we wish him all the very best. Jay was probably one of the first we signed, if not the first. And like I say, he's been unbelievable. One of the real good lads of the game. And like I say, you'll be missed running up and down that left hand side and smashing it at the people, I'm sure. But yeah, unbelievable in the dressing room. Fantastic to have around, great lad, brilliant left foot, and he deserved his night at St James's to be part of that group. Again, one of the lads who pulled us and said, look, I just want to go and try and get more first team minutes, and with the lads that we've got and the availability that we've got in that position, it would be wrong if me and Andy to hold that back. So again, it went with our blessing. We wished him all the very best, and I'm sure he'll succeed in Ashton.
Let's talk about some of the pre-season games then. I know this is kind of I know we've spoken before, Dean, you don't like pre-season, man, just hate pre-season. I'm sure those games will be really agonising because you just want to get to the real thing, but equally I guess they're really good learning exercises in terms of you want to get those mistakes out in those games. You want to kind of make sure everything's really tried and tested before you do kick off properly. Is that kind of how you've treated pre-season? Because I know there's been very convincing wins at Bolton, and then there was kind of the Wickham game that followed it, which I think maybe was a bit of a tougher test, and there was you could just see from some players that there was maybe a bit of just things that needed to be ironed out.
Yeah, I think you'll probably not find a manager who says he enjoys it. It's just a tough time. Availability plays a huge part, and it's part-time football, so people go on holiday, people have got jobs, it's hard, it really is. We went to Wickham and Seaham within 48 hours of each other with the same 13. It's tough. They've got to kind of shut themselves up and go again. So yeah, we've had some good games, and some tough games, which is good. But yeah, it's about drilling standards into people from the minute we get here at the first session. All the games are just a byproduct of the sessions that we do, and it's been good. We've learned a lot. You learn a lot more in them Wickham's tight niggly ones, Worthingtons on Saturday, than you probably do in the 6-0 wins and stuff. So we've took a lot from it. We've tried loads of different things, loads of shapes, loads of positional changes, different players, they had them everywhere. But yeah, very glad that it's now done.
You've tried so many combinations. You've had player availability in some players who've maybe played a bit more than others. Do you almost have a bit of a selection headache at the moment? Like, do you kind of know who's gonna, without saying obviously, but do you kind of know?
Well, I thought I'd just watched out there. I don't think Andy's playing.
I don't know.
It's pretty good.
Now we've got and I said it in there last week. This is the best squad that we've ever had, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's the best squad, player for player. Certainly, the depth is good. We've been known for having big squads since we got here. That's what we like. I always have. But I think it's the best squad ability-wise that we've ever had, which is good. It keeps us up at night trying to pick teams and stuff, but that's what I want. Like we said in pre-season, you've gone to games like Wickham and Seaham again within 2 days of each other with 13, 14 players, and we've done it last year, played Carlisle away and went in Corporal on up front and all these things. Nobody wants to do that. You want to have real strong squads. We've got 19, 20 available for Saturday. That's what we need. We need availability to be key. We need everyone there. We haven't got any injuries at the minute. Great. But availability is availability is massive. And yeah, we've got the end of pre-season. We've got everyone ready to go. And now it's just, it's go time. It's go time for everybody. It's a club, me, him, all the staff, players. And it's time, like I say, it comes 3 o'clock Saturday, are you ready?
So in terms of this season then, there's more North East teams in the league. I think it's probably the most there's ever been at this level, really. Does that make a difference? I know some of the teams from outside our patch play in quite a different way without being, just that they play their own way and that's that. But I think when you have the North East teams here, I don't know, there's just something feels different. Is that any kind of consideration there? There's obviously some shorter travelling involved in that as well.
Yeah, the travelling's the thing, isn't it? You find yourself, everyone trying to sign the same players. So the pool of players that everyone's just kind of fishing in the same one. So we found that pre-season where you try and speak to someone and he's been contacted by them and them because you're all together now. But from a playing perspective, not really. You've got some really, really good sides. You've got some huge clubs obviously joining us now in light of Blythe Spartans, which again, to take Heaton Stand to Blythe Spartans on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, I think it is, will be a huge occasion for everybody. When we first come here, there was probably 4 or 5 leagues between us, so to be now in the mix with them is a huge positive for everyone as a club. But yeah, look, it's less travelling, which is a bit of a bonus, but I think we say there about the way teams play and stuff, and I think everyone's got their own opinions and stuff, but the teams from out the area won the league, and the team from out the area won the playoffs, and the teams from out the area were in the playoffs, like Belbar. And so yeah, look, there's been some really good sides in this league who are now no longer in the league, which is a bit of a bonus, let's be honest. So yeah, it's the local sides are very good as well. We know that, but equally there are some really good sides from outside the area as well.
You said, this is the best squad you've had. Do you feel like this is kind of the best, possible preparation you could have had, and there's no risk or no issue of a second season syndrome type thing? You're actually fully adapted to the league now, or certainly more adapted than you would have been a year ago. And I don't know what the objective is for the season. I don't know if you're able to, or if you have one, or if you're just taking it game by game. But heading into FA Cup on Saturday, but then Saturday after that we've got the first league game. How things going to play out in your mind? I
said it at the end of last season. You want to just do better again. You want to win more games. You want to win more points. Try and finish 11th and upwards. You just want to try and improve. And I'd imagine all 20 other teams in the league want to do that. So we're all got the same goal. Yes, there'll be sides. I'd imagine your Matlocks of this world and your Dunstans of this world who are probably thinking this is their year to go up and win it, which is fine. That's great, and that's good luck to them all. Ours is just to go and improve again. And like I say, win more points at home, win more points away, win more points overall, score more goals, concede less goals. That can only be the aim. When you're in the FA Cup, you try and win the FA Cup game. You're in the FA Trophy, you try and win the FA Trophy game. The next game is the biggest one for us, and I think that's the only way we can address it.
And the next game is Whitney Bay on Saturday. Just how are you feeling about it? How excited are you to get going and to have a cup game first of all to kick things off? Does that make a difference in terms of it's not a league game yet? There's equally Whitney Bay have had 2 league games under their belt already. They're playing right now as we speak.
Score.
I think they were winning last time I heard it.
Good. It's probably quite well found out last year, wasn't it, with the FA Cup before the league game? It's the teams are 2 games in, as you say, so you can take that whatever way you want. It could be a little bit sharper, a little bit more match fit, but I think what we've done pre-season, we've gotten to a level where they're ready. So we'll go there Saturday looking to win the game and fight fire over fire. I mean, I've watched them twice. Have you watched them as well? They're a good side. They're a big club. They're a good side, and it's going to be a really tough game. Make no bones about that. But yeah, we're ready, aren't we? FA Cup, League, as we just said, we'll just take it game by game. We've just finished training. They're ready to go. So whether that's Lincoln, whether that's Whitney Bay, whether that's Redcar or Blythe Town on the following Wednesday, it's just go time, isn't it, really? We're just going to give it 150% and see where it takes us always.
Well, last season's game at Whitney Bay was the first of the Senior Cup run. We won that, I'm just saying, May, Wembley.
No. Was it penalties that?
Yeah, it was penalties, yeah.
Shep scored,
Shep played equalised.
I put him on the front, he scored.
Yeah.
I was getting some dodgy looks off the chain when I put him on the front, but
it worked out.
it worked out, yeah.
And obviously, being Whitney Bay, just finally, it's a local game, should get a big fan base down there. They're all itching to get some competitive football. They've been backing you through pre-season, but now the big one starts on Saturday. Let's get a big away crowd there to Hillheads.
I think we've had some unbelievable away days last year, didn't we? With the Ferriby and the Liversedge 2, which stand out. But we really be 2-0 away towards the end of our first season, first division. And I think that was the best away end that we'd had. The sun was shining. I think it was a few tops off mine, but
sorry.
But there was a little away end in the corner. in they were loud, and
Yeah.
it was brilliant. It's one that really, really sticks out. So yeah, look, they've backed us through thick and thin on this since they walked through the door. And again, it's go time for them as well. Do you know what I mean? We need them again, home and away. We need them to put the miles in. We need them to get the home games, get the away games. We need that back in, because you've seen last year when they've got that back in, this team and these players will perform. You've seen it at St James's Park on the biggest stage of all, when there was thousands of them screaming and screaming and screaming, and that got us over the line as well. So I'm sure they will. I'm certain they will. And yeah, we'll see them down at Whitley on Saturday, and we'll all be pulling in the right direction and all hope for the same thing. And like I say, if we can get over the line and be in the hat for the next round, that'll be the main thing.
Well, Dean and Andy, thanks very much for chatting to us. Best of luck on Saturday, best of luck for the season, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers.